All right, guys, this is question number 40 from homework day 4. This is from Unit 8, Lesson 3. And number 40 actually is something we haven't covered yet in class. So it's kind of going to be a preview problem for you now. I'm not opposed to you doing it, but I would understand skip because you're supposed to find all coordinates for all x-intercepts, y-intercepts, describe domain of the function, find equations for vertical and horizontal asymptotes, and sketch a graph. So question number 40 is definitely outside of what we know right now based on us doing this unit before we do unit number 5 on irrational functions. But let's kind of give it a shot. I'll show you what I mean. If I let f of x equal 5 over x minus 2, the idea here is that you can't divide by 0. So for x equals 2, I would have a vertical asymptote. So that's what's coming up, meaning I can't divide by that. This would have no x-intercepts. And if I put 0 in for x, I'd have f of 0, that equals 5 over 0 minus 2. That's 5 over a negative 2. That leads to a negative 2.5. So it has a y-intercept of a negative 2.5. It has a vertical asymptote of x equals 2. It has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0, because this will have a horizontal value going out to 0. And then we're supposed to sketch a graph, including all the intercepts. So I'm going to kind of do a quick sketch here. There were no x-intercepts, a y-intercept of a negative 2.5. Right there. I know it has a horizontal asymptote, a vertical one at 2. All right, and we'll kind of run how that goes. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'll show you a graph of this. Yeah, I'll kind of do a sketch of this and we'll kind of see where it goes. But I think it's going to do this. Okay, and then this graph's going to come up from here and get closer to 0. So that's the first part A. I'm going to do part B relatively quickly. Again, this is a preview for most of this stuff. I would expect that at this point in time, you wouldn't know how to do this problem, so please don't feel frustrated. We're going to be learning this in our next unit. So this is a preview currently. So I only have x-intercepts when the numerator can actually equal 0 and the denominator doesn't. So in this, if I let 3x minus 4 equal 0, I would solve that to find that x is equal to positive 4/3. So an x-intercept occurs at x equals 4/3. A y-intercept would occur when I put 0 into the function. So if I do 3 times 0 minus 4 over 2 times 0 plus 1, I would get out a minus 4 on top and a positive 1 on the bottom. So my y-intercept is at 0, negative 4. Okay, and then I would say something about the asymptotes. I didn't describe the domain yet either. The domain of the previous one was all real numbers, except for x cannot equal 2. And for this one, we would say, again, all real numbers, except where the denominator equals 0, which would occur at a negative half. So we'll say all real numbers, except x cannot equal a negative half, which leads me to the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote will occur whenever the denominator equals 0 when the top doesn't. So this is going to yield that x is equal to a negative 1/2. And then we'll let the horizontal asymptote, on this case, would be the ratio of the two front numbers. So I get out a horizontal asymptote at y equals 3/2 or 1.5. And then, of course, we need to graph this. So if I graph this function, I should get out, lots of things here. The x-intercept at 4/3. There's 1, there's 2, 4/3 is right about there. I should see a horizontal asymptote at 3/2, or 1.5. So I should never cross this horizontal right here. Or if I do, it levels off near that value. I shouldn't say never cross. And then I should also show where it crosses. There has a y-intercept of a negative 4. So down here. So I'm looking at a graph that is approaching. And negative half, of course, is a vertical asymptote, so I can't cross that either. So we're looking at something that looks a little bit like this, and this one goes this way, okay? And that's problem 40. So again, not that I expect you to know how to do that, but it's a good preview for what's coming up. That ends 40.